Hello and welcome back to another episode of Diablo to D&D. My name is David, and today I'm going to be going over the new changes to the Sorceress's leveling. So, I have taken a look at the Sorceress, and there's been a lot of questions that I've had regarding its, leveling abilities. When do they get certain abilities? Where does the subclasses, where do you pick up the subclass features? And a handful of other things. You see, when we're talking about spellcasting versus martials, spellcasters have blank levels. Every spellcaster does. Whether they're a half caster or a full caster, the quarter casters are a little different, or the one-third casters are a little different, because they are a main martial class. But when I made the Sorceress, there was no spellcasting, and so I filled the class up just chock full with just abilities. I created Sorceress Insight and Masterful Insight so that they had some utility and just a couple of other things just to throw in there just to fill out the levels. However, now that spellcasting is a part of it, now I can go back and do some not exactly balancing issues or balancing changes, but make some changes and make it look like an actual spellcaster. So we're going to go from this to this, and there are a ton of changes that just feel right. So first off, the Sorceress is an intelligence caster like the Wizard, and so it has some elements of the Wizard. It has warmth that recovers abilities like the arcane recovery of the Wizard, but it's also got some DNA being a part of, it's the Sorcerer, so it has a few pieces in from the D&D Sorcerer. So let's talk about the Wizard influence first. So the Wizard influence is, in this new version, actually rather minimal. I've not made any changes to the abilities themselves. I've just rearranged them. The balance changes will happen later, and probably some in the changelog for next week. This is just the leveling system for this video. So, some of the biggest things that I've done is moving the subclasses around, the subclass features around. They started at 3rd level, but now you choose them at 2nd level. This is kind of to fit more in line with the Wizard influence, I guess. But also, I just kind of, those first couple of levels, things needed to be tweaked around. And Sorceress Insight also didn't need to be at 1st level, along with Warmth and Spellcasting. There is just a lot, probably too much for that 1st level. So I moved Sorceress Insight to that 3rd level so that you can kind of ease into it. And it is a fairly sizable, it's not exactly a power increase, but I wanted it early enough that you could easily access it. So Sorceress Insight has been moved from 1st level to 3rd level. Next up, the 6th level subclass features have not been moved. They have not been touched. However, the 10th level ones have been moved to 14th and will be getting the appropriate balance changes as needed. The reason why I moved it to 14 is the odd levels are reserved for your spellcasting level ups. So it had to be an even level, and it had to be higher because Chain Lightning, it just felt weird to say, oh, it deals less damage until you get to this level, which was like 2-3 levels away. So what I've done is, it was 10th level, so 4 levels away. So what I've done is I've bumped it up to 14th level, so Chain Lightning fits better into just the spellcasting progression. So I don't have to have that restriction of dealing less damage. Then the former 14th level subclass feature has been moved to 18th, and this does necessitate some balance changes again because you're going up 4 levels. That's just to be expected. Now, the Sorceress did have an 18th level subclass feature. What I've done instead is combined them. This was the Cold, Fire, and Lightning Masteries. I've combined them and named them Elemental Mastery and shoved it into the 20th level feature. So that way, even if you're a cold sorceress, if you started doing more fire stuff and you wanted to pick up Fire Mastery, go for it. The masteries are actually unconnected to the tree in Diablo 2. So if you really wanted to put points into Lightning Mastery, even though you only have, telekinesis and teleport, go for it. So I figured it would be, I also needed a 20th level feature anyway, so it fit. Some other changes: telekinesis, enchant, and blaze have been completely pulled out. These were some of the worst functioning, these were some of the least, not interesting, but not as good features. Telekinesis, enchant, and blaze don't usually get used in Diablo 2 either. They're kind of niche abilities. Otherwise, unless you're playing an enchant sorceress, in which case, that's your main feature. But by and large, that's a very, like I said, niche ability. So I've pulled those out and just made room for the ones that are actually popular. Shiver Armor and Teleport, for example, have been kept and moved from 9th and 11th levels, respectively, down into 10th level. On the Sorcerer, the D&D Sorcerer, this is where you'd get another metamagic feature. So this is not quite a power level, but it's kind of a power level thing. Shiver Armor increases or adds some damage to your frozen armor ability, and Teleport just allows you to teleport. You get Misty Step. Let's see. Masterful Insight has been moved from 15th level up to 17th level. This is to make sure that 15th level feature is blank so that you can get your 8th level spells. When I was organizing this, I literally pulled out every class feature that wasn't like your subclass and the ASIs and shifted some things around. I shifted the subclass features around and then put things back where they belonged. Energy Shield, before I started doing this, Energy Shield almost moved to 18th level. But I figured that being a 17th level feature is powerful enough, and there's going to be a ton of changes to Energy Shield, as I'm going to be drawing from, what is it? The Arcane Ward from the Abjuration Wizard in D&D, as well as a handful of other features that might be going into that. So, on the topic of the abilities that haven't made it into the new version, those are Ice Blast, Frozen Orb, Telekinesis, Static Field, Lightning, Enchant, Blaze, Fireball, and Meteor. So this is actually really, really good, because now I can make the Elementalist, the one that is kind of the general, not focusing on any particular element. This means that I have more subclasses that I can put into the game. Yay! So what I probably could do is throw Frozen Orb as an 18th level feature, Telekinesis as a, I don't know. Maybe have Enchant as your 3rd level feature so that you have, you can bump up people's weapons to be a little more powerful. And then, Static Field or something as a feature and make up something else. I don't know. But now that I have other features I can work with, that means that I can push them into a new subclass or even 2 potentially, and expand things to be more open to player options. As an abrupt change of topic, because I'm running out of things to talk about here, I'd like to talk about some of the changes that are going to be happening or may be happening to some of these class features. or to some of these abilities. Warmth is going to be moved to a more arcane recovery style thing where it's recovering spell slots instead of class features. Teleport might get some changes. I think I have it as like 3 times per long rest. It might be just moved to proficiency times per long rest, or maybe like 3 times per short rest or something like that. It's really, really useful. Energy shield is definitely getting changed. I think I'm going to be moving it to just whenever you hit, not even making it a reaction, just you can expend spell slots to reduce the damage by like 5 times your expended spell slot or something like that. Or like you gain temporary hit points or something that absorbs everything. Kind of like Tomb of Levistus from the Warlock. Chain Lightning, I mentioned, its damage is going to be changing, or the nerf that it has because it was a lower level, that's going to be pulled off. And I think most everything else is just a matter of changing some of the numbers. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's a rather shorter video this time around for the Let's Fix. But I'm not digging deep into the exact abilities, so yeah, we'll see you in the next video. You can contact me at XenosFan2, that is XENOZFAN2 on Blue Sky and Reddit. And you can contact the channel directly at Diablo TODND on Blue Sky and YouTube. Thank you much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good whatever.